Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the bouquet video for April 2024. Now, I must apologize again, but I will tell you why I'm apologizing for delaying March, April, and February booty videos, as well as the unboxing for Nanodroid Kobayashi. Because all that stuff, especially the February booty video, which was pretty lengthy because of all the stuff that came in, was pushed back a lot, and there is a reason for that, and I'm going to tell you what that is at the end of this video. I've alluded to it in previous videos, so hopefully I don't go too much up on the tangent and run out of space on the memory card again. But what came in the month of April, still pretty good haul. Not so much in terms of gaming, not so much in terms of figures. Like, there is some stuff, but it was pretty quiet because tax season happened, and I did get a refund. And if you've watched that video, you've already known what I've gotten. And the first thing, well, obviously the thing that I had my mind set on was expanding the storage space on the PlayStation 5. So I picked up an 8 terabyte hard drive so that I can literally actually buy games and install them for one thing, and move them to the console storage when I need or want to play them. My real big problem was that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was 145 gigs, and I literally just barely had enough room to install it. So I was thinking, what'll happen when Stellar Blade comes out? Because, I don't know the file size on that, and I didn't know until it actually came out. But it wasn't be all end all, because I decided to, take some of the money that I got back to buy this. It was relatively inexpensive, just over 220 bucks, and I'm definitely really happy with it so far, and I'm looking forward to expanding the storage capacity for my Xbox Series X as well as the Xbox One X because that's the one I have. But mainly because I play a lot, and I like to download and have everything on the console. I don't like uninstalling, reinstalling, that kind of thing. I'd just like to, move it when I need it or want to play it, and then put something I'm not playing on the drive for storage purposes. So this is really handy, so I'm glad. It is definitely a lot easier than installing this soap bar. People have told me otherwise, differently, but that's really one main reason I got this, was to free up space for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, even though I did have it. But definitely a good buy. The next one, because of the changes that are happening, a lot of the changes are happening with relation to, ownership and things like that, and specifically vehicles. And even though I don't own, I drive 2 of the 3 cars in this place, but ownership is changing, and I will own the vehicle myself soon. And I do have, on my current car, I do have decals, and the car that I am inheriting, if you will, is blue. I figured what better way to personalize it than to put my favorite character on it, especially since I called the car by that name. And here is a decal of Miku Nakano, and you could tell it's Miku because headphones right there. But this is a decal I found online on Etsy, which is a very good place to find your repo boxes and your repo manuals for your retro stuff for gaming. So obviously they have artists on there, and I looked up decals of Miku Nakano or anime characters and stuff, and I found one I liked, and I instantly bought that up. They even gave me a sample sticker, that I won't put on the car, but there are other things I'd like to put on the car, the decals basically that speak to me, so to personalize it, if you will. But that will come at a future date, but I did get the decal, and that's the most important thing. Next up, something I saw in passing all the time, advertised on Facebook, because I'm a fan of baseball, and I'm a fan of, Team Gear. I got this hat, which is a camo trucker hat based up to Toronto Blue Jays. It was kind of a last minute decision to get that. I just, wanted something different. And, obviously the one I was wearing in several videos is really nice, and I still wear it. I just washed it, and, one thing I've learned about, owning apparel and stuff is the sweat really ruins everything, but the washing ruins it even more. So I have to be really careful with, how much I sweat over the next few months, because I don't want to, obviously ruin and stain it and permanently stain it and that kind of thing, and then eventually get rid of it, because it's so expensive to buy it, but it's just so easy to get rid of it, and I don't want to do that. Speaking on the Toronto Blue Jays front, somewhere, and I've never posted this on my Instagram or anything like that, somewhere I saw some baseball cards while I was in Walmart, and it was a complete team set for the 2023 Blue Jays, and it was relatively inexpensive, and it's like in the checkout line when you're doing the self-checkout on the way there. So I decided to pick, and here's the case, I still have it, but this is the case it came in, 2023 Topps, because I don't know, I couldn't find Upper Deck, but the whole team, or at least most of the star players, but I put them in obviously in this book, and they're all players I'm familiar with. So we got Guerrero. Sorry, it's hard to point, and like Chapman, who is no longer there, Barrios, Espinal, who got traded recently. That looks like Jansen from this far away. Gosman, Kikuchi, Romano. Gabriel Moreno was traded in 2022. So this is my gripe, is that some of the guys featured in this set were not on the team in 2023. That being Gabriel Moreno and Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who were traded, and that's how we got Dalton Varsho, and who is not in this set, who was on the team in 23, which is really disappointing for me because he's one of my favorite players on the team. So I really wanted a card of him. But not that I don't like those other players, it's totally inaccurate. So it was, I guess, false advertising in a way. But I'm just happy to have this, and it was relatively inexpensive. It's kind of cool to pick up. Next up is a figure that came out at the end of April. That being, we just did an unboxing video for her not too long ago. The 5th Nanodroid in the Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid series. And I'm not going to put her in front of the camera because I'm just going to rotate the camera and show you where she is right now, just for her to make it funny. So there's Drunk Kobayashi. My skills are not so good. But there she is on my gaming laptop. Complete, and that, yes, that is the pose I actually put her in on the shelf beside all the other Nanodroids. But yeah. So Nanodroid Kobayashi, she was a late pickup in late April. And obviously, I've mentioned it, the very last one that came out was a game I had pre-ordered. A game that had a little bit of controversy surrounding it, and you probably know what I'm talking about, right? This is Stellar Blade for PS5, which is currently the game I am playing right now on 9th Gen Sundays, so today. So, and happy Mother's Day, by the way, to all the moms out there in the world, because it is Mother's Day. It is May 12th when I'm filming this, even though this is for April. But yeah, Stellar Blade came out at the end of April 26th. I got it on day 1. I've played a little bit of the demo, and then, like the demo, what was featured in the demo anyway, and now I'm past that, and just going on my way exploring. I really like the combat system. I really like the way customization works in the game. The TNA is just the icing on the cake, and obviously there's all these like woke things and all this stuff going around on the internet about canceling Stellar Blade or save Stellar Blade or make it uncensored. We pay good money for this, whatever it is. But from what little I have played of the game, maybe about 5 hours, give or take, last chance or last time out. I've been really impressed with it. I've been really digging it. I've been having fun with it. That's the main thing. And censorship, I just zoom in and look at Eve climbing up a ladder, and that's all I need to get me going. But anyway, that's all that came in for April. So this is a relatively short video, but like I said in previous videos, as well as the beginning of this one, I wanted to take a moment to apologize for the lack of a presence in posting these videos, and mainly because, and I'm not waxing all serious here, but I just have to say that it was a very trying time in my life, in my personal life, at around the end of February, beginning of March. For one thing, I was a little bit sick at the end of February, early March. And I've never talked about this on camera before, but my father, he passed away slightly after, in early March, he passed away from complications due to ALS. Now, for those of you who don't know, ALS is a terminal illness in which, obviously the muscles eventually get weaker, break down, and like basic things that you can't do, like like opening a can of juice, or like everything down to respiratory is affected, and like it's basically like your entire body shutting down. So, and it has no cure, and in most cases it's one of the most terrible diseases one could get. And my father was nothing but the kindest person to everybody he met. He gave everybody the benefit of the doubt, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not the perfect angel, I'm not the perfect son, but I dearly loved my father, and it's very difficult to talk about this kind of thing on a thing where I normally wouldn't talk about it. And don't get me wrong, like I posted about his passing, and obviously I received nothing but love and support from family, friends, co-workers about, sorry, terrible for your loss, and that's just what goes with the territory. But it's something that I was pseudo prepared for, but not prepared for, because obviously we knew going into this when he was diagnosed, like almost 2 years ago, that there's certain things are going to change in your life, and things are going to be difficult, and I'm going to get difficult. And this is when he could still speak clearly, because obviously he was on a respirator and that kind of thing, and that got difficult. And then things like going to the bathroom and going to bed and even eating were just really, really difficult for him, so much so that we needed outside help. And my mom and I are only two people, so, and I work, and my mom's retired, so it's not really the easiest thing to deal with in the world. And there were times that both of us lost our tempers with him when we didn't really mean to, and himself vice versa, because obviously when these kinds of things happen to you, it changes you, but and it was kind of like I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was coming at the same time. So in early March, my father passed away, but he passed away peacefully, and I'm glad he's not suffering anymore, and he's in a much better place now, and I know he's up there, definitely. And because just the people, the outpouring or the support that I've received since then, and then everybody, talking to me about their memories of him and what he meant to them, like especially at the funeral, when, people came up to me and talked to me about, their experiences and their memories of him. That just fills me with so much joy, that he brought so much joy to so many people in his life and his, time here on this planet. And he was partially the reason why some of the things I would do normally weren't as frequent anymore, because obviously, you have to be attentive to his needs. So obviously I couldn't be in a position like where I'm streaming or something like that, where I've had my ears plugged kind of thing. So obviously I couldn't venture forth in doing like a regular streaming schedule or anything like that, because I had to be attentive while I was awake. In the waking hours I was home, if he needed something and certain people weren't around, I would have to attend to it. And that can take its toll on a person. And I'm somebody who, I'm not the most patient person in the world at times. I know I put on a brave face or a different kind of persona when I do these videos, but I'm not the perfect person, but to me, he was definitely one of the greatest teachers I've ever known, one of the greatest parents I've ever known, and I'm saddened, and I do think about him every day, you know, what he's up to now, and I know he's in a better place, but you know, and sometimes you worry about that you're gonna forget your loved ones after they pass away, you know, when you get on with your life and do certain things, you want to keep them in your memory somewhere. But I know I'll never forget him, because you know, he's here in my heart where I keep him, and you know, and I have nothing but, as much as we argued and bickered, and you know, my cousin even said this to me once, that just shows you really care for each other, because you can go at each other's throats like that. But you know, and we definitely had our disagreements for sure. We were like, ketchup does not belong on chips, or ketchup doesn't belong on fish, like, and he really hated ketchup, and I love ketchup. That's the thing about us in the food department, is that we have such varying tastes, but on certain things we definitely agree. You know, we're very different people, and though I look, you know, like, you know, I'm the spitting image of him. Like, if you saw like a younger picture of my father, it's like, oh yeah, you look exactly like him, like that kind of thing. So but I'd like to thank everybody for, you know, their love, their support, their prayers, everything during that time, like when he passed away in early March. And I'm doing okay, my mom's doing okay. We're just, you know, as I said, a lot of changes are happening around here, and we're just trying to not process them, but, you know, trying to deal with it, plan ahead, you know, look forward to the future, you know, what's going to happen. So thank you very much, though, for sticking with me to the video, because I really wanted to talk about it eventually. Like, I have talked about it openly before, but never on camera, and this is kind of a creepy slash uncomfortable thing, but you know, it's something that definitely had to come out eventually. So thank you very much for all your patience, your love, your kindness, your comments, anything that you said to me, whether that be in person, whether that be on the channel. It truly means a lot. But as I said, in the coming months, there definitely isn't going to be as much unboxing stuff, mainly because I'm cutting down on pre-orders for figures. There is stuff coming, but I'm not reserving any new ones, because of, obviously, you know, putting my money aside for other projects or other things, like, you know, taking care of, like, you know, my yearly RRSP contribution right away, you know, and, you know, putting money away for, like, you know, when you move out, that kind of thing. So stuff won't be as frequent as it was once, but, you know, obviously that doesn't mean it's the end of everything. I'll definitely gonna look into, you know, the streaming thing and trying to make that a little bit more regular, trying to improve it. I definitely know that my current setup is not working, so there's gonna have to be a trip to Canada Computers to ask about stuff to make it better and whatnot, and then we'll get back on the stream train. But obviously it probably won't be as frequent as it used to be. Of course, when you move out and you have your own place, that kind of thing, it might be a little bit more frequently, but that's way, way, way down the road. But anyway, stay beautifully imperfect out there. Take care of yourselves and each other. Be kind to yourselves and to each other. Remember, kindness is king. And my dad was a really, really kind person, and I hope I can emulate that from him. And you all keep up the awesomeness, and we will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Peace out.